Welcome back, guys. XR here again with episode 2 of Skyrim. I'm just running through the town here real quick. I'm going to be talking to all of the NPCs here, all of the people to pick up some quests. The Golden Call quest is here. I'm going to pick up, actually looking at this house, I will be doing a little quest here to get one of my first companions. It'll be... Oh, what is his name? I think his house is right here. Yeah, Fendel. We're going to do that as part of a love quarrel quest, which we will get here in a second. So, this will be one of the only towns that I kind of run through and show you talking to him and picking up quests and whatnot. Well, we also got to level up, it looks like. Everything else I'm just kind of going to skip through. Not going to record it, and this way it'll make things go a little bit faster. I'm also going to skip some of this text here, make things move a little bit quicker. Got some comments that my last video was a little bit long, so we're going to try to shorten it up a little bit. So he's right now, Alvar here, he's, we've just asked him if we can have any supplies, so he gave us all of his inventory. It's awful nice of him. Yeah, we saw the dragon. Where did that? Come on. For whatever reason, it's kind of finicky when you're talking to these guys. If you don't have your mouse just in the right spot, you'll play the same thing over and over again. This way too, actually, now that I'm asking this guy if I can use his forge. If you remember in the first episode, we had a choice. We could either follow this guy over here into the castle to try to escape the dragon, or there was Ulfric. We could have followed him. I think it was him anyway. It may have been one of his companions. But in any case, we had an option. Since we've chosen to follow this guy, this fella will let us use his forge supplies, not just the forge in general. He's, you'll notice when we get out there, he's got some ore, like some iron ore, nothing great, but just a couple of pieces of ore and whatnot that we will be able to use. We can just pick it up. Actually, it won't count as stealing because it'll be just like this. Take tankard, for example, but it'll be take iron ore or whatever it is. And I'll show you that once we get out there. I know there's some. That's what I'm looking for. Arrows. We don't want to steal that. Normally I don't worry too much about stealing. I just got to make sure that nobody's looking. I don't want to ruin my faction with everybody straight away. Most of this stuff I'm just going to turn around and sell right back to them. Alright, we don't care what she has to say. Take what we need. Let's take these snowberries. I don't need any of the rest of that. Let's see. Don't need to worry about that. Alright. Let's go out here real quick, take a look at his forge. I don't know what time it is. Yeah, see, look. Now we can take all this iron, all this steel. Some things over here we'll be able to take and pretty much sell right back to him. If we hit T, that's for time. Show us what time it is. It's 9:53 p.m. So what I would like to happen is I would like everybody to wake up in this town so I can start talking to them. And I'll be able to talk to this blacksmith guy here, Al, for him. And he should let us use his, he's basically going to show us how to smith. Not that it's very hard to figure out, but... Alright, well, he's not here. We'll come back in a minute. This is the general store, basically, the Riverwood Trader. These guys are brother and sister. Let's see what happened. They basically had a break-in. Somebody stole a claw from them. And we are picking up the quest to go get it. I don't care about that right now. Alright, so now we got a quest to retrieve the golden claw, which will be our first one. The claws are pretty much keys that open doors in certain dungeons and whatnot. Alright, he wants us to make an iron dagger. So we're going to click on the forge, click on iron, find the dagger. Yes, we want to continue, and there's that. Let's give him the dagger. Now he wants us to sharpen it, which we will do with the grindstone here. You can see we get a little bit of experience every time we do one of these. Now once we get further in, we'll be doing a lot of smithing, and I'll probably cut most of that out, but just kind of give you a little bit of an overview on how it works. Alright, leather tanning is done on the tanning rack, obviously. You're going to click it, and any one of these. Alright, good there. I did notice. Okay. Wants us to make a hide helmet. Now, even though hide you wouldn't think you would need a forge for, leather and hide are both in the forge. So there we go. Alright, now he wants us to temper it, which is improving. We're going to do that on a workbench. And what was it? The hide helmet. Okay, alright, we're done with him. She wants to lead us out of town. We don't care about that. We are going to go find our first companion. He's walking around over here. This is Fendel. I think that's how you pronounce it. Fendal. There we go. He's also an archery trainer. He can help us get our archery up. We're not going to do that because it does cost a lot of money. The higher level your skill, the more money it costs, obviously. So in a nutshell, there's two ways you can go about this. In order to get him as a companion, you essentially have to make, well, if I can find her, there she is. See right here, we're going to lie. We have a letter from Sven. And then we go back to Fendel here. And now look, Fendel is our first companion. Companions, they're kind of a pain in the butt, to be completely honest. I mean, they get in the way often when you're trying to be sneaky. Sometimes they're not so much. It just, I don't know. It just kind of depends, really. But I mean, they are there for extra carrying. They can carry some of your gear. And some of them, if you play them with them right, they can get pretty nasty because you can have them do things for you. As far as you can command them to go here or there, or attack this target or that target, or things like that. I just typically use them as extra carrying capacity. We don't care what Sven has to say. He's mad at us now, even though we didn't really talk to him yet. We're just kind of getting all these little starting quests. See how this hasn't turned gray yet? If you hover over it, it's still white. That means he's still got more rumors. And you can see up here all my quests are lining up. There it goes. See, now it's grayed out, so that means everything that he's going to say from that point forward, when I click that, it's going to be something that he's already told me. And, well, we don't need to hear it more than once. There's another quest there. Alright, so we're good there. He does want us to craft a potion. I don't know any potions off the top of my head, but we'll fiddle around with it for a second and see what we get here. So let's try more common items. Let's try one of those, maybe one of these. See what happens with 2. Potion failed. There we go. We've made a potion. Don't know what it does. Typically, the only potions that I will use are the ones that advance your skills as far as like smithing and alchemy and whatnot. They allow you to make better quality gear, which we will go in much larger detail a little later on. I don't know if that'll be today or not, but we will definitely cover how to make the potions and how to use them properly to maximize our skills to make ridiculous gear. Alright, so we're going to take a look at our quest log here. We're going to go to tab. No, we're going to hit escape and go to quests. And this is our quest window. So you can see this little notch here means that that's our active quest. Now you can have as many active quests as you want. But what we have to be careful of is quests like this, Join the Imperial Legion. That one really doesn't have a designated location, even though, I mean, it kind of does because you have to go to the same place to do it, but it doesn't put a blip on your map necessarily. So sometimes it'll bug your quest log out. You got to be real careful with picking a whole bunch of them, because you can have like 30 or 40 of these things picked at one time, and the game will get confused sometimes. I don't know. I don't know how it does, but in any case, what'll end up happening is it'll show your marker on the map where you need to go, but then once you get there, the marker as far as who you need to talk to, or if there's an item you need to pick up or whatever, it will no longer be there. So you'll have to kind of go through and unselect some of them systematically, to kind of rule out what am I wanting to say? You'll basically process of elimination. That's what I wanted. Process of elimination. Eventually, your quests will fix themselves after you've found whichever one is bugging them out. So I typically pick a few that I'm going to be doing and leave them selected just so I can kind of see while I'm on my way to and fro if there's things that I can pick up on the way, which, like I said, if there's anything significant while I'm traveling, that you should see, or I think you guys might find interesting, I will go ahead and let you see it. I'll actually put it in the final recording. But if it's just me traveling along and running and I happen to kill a couple of giants or wolves along the way, I'll probably just cut all that out to save, time and space. So before we take off, we're going to go look in a cave. No, it's non-quest related, but we are going to go in it because it's on the way. It's where we're going to get our pickaxe and kill some more bandits. Oops. This is Fendel's house. We are going to talk to him real quick. We want to trade with him, and we are going to take his key. So that way we don't have to break into his house. Now, because he is now our companion, most, if not all, of the things in his house are now also ours. His casa suit our casa, right? So we're going to run through here real quick and take all of his things. These, if I can pick one up here, those rectangle wooden plates, I would recommend that you pick at least one of them up and keep it for just in case. There is, depending on if you're trying to do like the Companions quests and the Dark Brotherhood quests all at the same time, sometimes the quests, because they're random, you can end up getting two that affect the same characters. And there is one in particular that I can't remember who it is, but it's somebody that we have to go save. He's like a prisoner in a bandit camp or something. We have to go save him. And when we go save him, he doesn't go back to where he's supposed to go. Essentially, he gets stuck under the world. So if you use, there's a way, if we come to it and need it, we'll kind of take that as it comes, where you can use one of these to glitch through the world to actually go get that guy and complete the quest without him actually being where he's supposed to be. Hopefully, we don't have to deal with that, because it's a pain in the butt, and it starts, I don't know, it's like a domino effect. It starts bugging out all kinds of different things from having to do it. But the only other way to do it is a console command, and that doesn't necessarily fix it. So hopefully we won't have to do it. But as I said, if we do come to it, and we'll deal with it when it comes. But for now, if you see one of those square plates, just pick it up. It's kind of one of those things where they're everywhere when you don't need them, but then when you do need them, you can't find one. So anyway, we are going to level up real quick. We're going to put our first point into archery. We'll add some more health. Actually, we'll add our first point into sneak. There we go. Alright. So looking at the map, you can hit M. This, Helgen, that's where we started. That's where the dragon was. This is the first shrine, the Guardian Stones, that we talked about in the first episode, where we wanted to pick one as far as our 20% increase to stat, to level ups or whatever. Here's where we are. There's a cave right in this general vicinity that we are going to go to. So that's where we're going to head. I will probably cut it out right here, and I will see you when we get to the cave entrance. Alright, we are at the actual back entrance. I didn't go to the front entrance, and I'll kind of explain why once we get there. It's pretty simple, really. It's there. I guess I can tell you why we're running through here. There's just there's a couple of bandits at the front and on the outside, and if we go through this way, they won't be able to see us coming because our sneak is not the greatest yet. So we'll be able to sneak up and kill them stealthily. These are booby traps. Well, they're not really booby traps. I guess they're alarms. They're basically bones, as you can see if you bump one. It'll make all kinds of noise, as my beautiful companion just smashed into one. As I said, sometimes they're a pain in the butt. I am taking those torches because it makes it darker. Obviously, it is harder for the enemies to see you in the dark. Probably makes very much sense. I'm going to wait for this guy to come up around here because a lot of times these rails, even though it seems as though you are aiming over them, for whatever reason, you're still going to shoot him. See, and now he's all up in the way. Sneak's going up. It's good. Somebody else is looking for us. Here he comes. This is also why I like being the archer. You see how I shot that arrow over there? He went to investigate it instead of coming up here after us. It's just much easier to kind of sneak around because you can, I don't know, some games you throw rocks, some games you have a slingshot or whatever, and you just kind of distract them to get them to go elsewhere to look for you, and then you pop them while they're searching in the wrong spot. So we're going to run through here real quick, grab up all the goodies. You can search all these bags for ingredients and food and whatnot. The wines I take primarily for the drunkards in the towns. Sometimes they will give you extra quests or help you out in various other ways when they ask you if you can give them a drink or spare some coins or whatever. I don't know. If you do that, they appreciate it. This room does have some gems, a couple of them, I think. Yeah, right here. Alright, now, moving over here, this place right here, this little, I don't want to say that it's necessarily a secret, but you can kind of see it hides behind this bush in the dark. If you come around here, you come out by this here waterfall. Here's some iron ore, which we can't get yet because we don't have a pickaxe, but we can get into this chest. Perfect. I'm just going to drop straight down. More ingredients, lovely. Just kind of looking around for supplies. There's some iron ore. I'm looking for like a woodcutter's axe, perhaps. Definitely looking for a pickaxe. So then we'll have to come back and I mean we don't necessarily have to. It's just iron ore for Pete's sake, but as I said, I like to get as much stuff as I can, spend as little money as possible. Here's some more. Yeah, we're probably going to have to run back through in reverse, but I can do that offline. The kill animations in this game I've always found to be pretty lovely, in my opinion. Bethesda's usually pretty good about the ragdolls and death animations, I think. Got some kind of spell book there. Picking that stuff up. You can activate a torch too. I mean, I suppose. Let me see if I have any. I know I have some, but if I have any favorited, I did not. So those will be under miscellaneous. Torch. I'm going to hit F and click it so we can equip it. And it does light the room up a little bit better. You can see this guy down here mining. There must be a pickaxe down there. If you find yourself in a situation where you have an arrow ready to roll and you end up not needing it, you can hit R and it will put it away instead of just randomly having to shoot one. Ah, there it is, the pickaxe. Good. Now we can start mining for our materials that we'll use to smith. Now, a lot of the smithing I'm going to do early on, I'm not going to worry too much about which guardian stones to use to give it a buffer or which potions to make or drink, or I'm not going to worry about making any enhanced armor or clothing to make it better, because it's going to move so quick, and early on especially, you're going to get so many upgrades and in such a quick manner that it really doesn't make a lot of sense to waste resources on something that you're going to replace in a couple of seconds anyway. So I just kind of leave all that alone for now. Once I start getting into the dragon hunting, usually around like a level 10, that's when things start to get interesting, because that's when, provided that you do the very first dragon quest, I should say, once you do the first quest that allows you to fight the dragon or kill your first dragon, dragons will randomly appear and attack towns and cities and whatnot. So you have to be really careful. And my recommendation is to save often, because they will kill NPCs and quest people that you need to progress the story and progress different quests and whatnot. And if they kill them, you just can't do it anymore. So this is the actual beginning of the mine, and you can see there's a fella right here sitting. So we're going to sneak up on him for no other reason than just to get some increases, some sneaky stuff. But anyway, back to the dragons randomly attacking. Once you hit level 10, there's two other things, depending on what expansions you do or don't have. If you have all of them, a guy is going to show up with a letter and tell you there'll be cultists, I think. And those are for the Dragonborn expansion. And then they will start randomly attacking you and potentially killing NPCs in some of the towns and whatnot as well. So now you got dragons and you got cultists. Perfect. You also, if you have the Dawn Guard installed, which we do, you're going to get random attacks by vampires, which, you know, same thing. They will just show up in the city at night and they will just run through there and kill everybody until they're dead. Or kill everybody until they themselves get killed, I should say. So I always save right before I enter a town. That way, if I go in and there's some type of attack going on, I can just reload and get away from it. It's basically what you do is if you find that a town is getting attacked by vampires or cultists or whatever, you reload the game, don't go into the town, wait until daytime or whatever. Like the vampires, if you wait until daytime, usually that'll take care of them. Sometimes it won't. But what usually works 100% of the time is if you fast travel, so reload and then fast travel somewhere else and then come back, a lot of times it'll reset that random attack. And then you can go in free and clear of losing any potential quest people. Alright, so moving on. We've cleared this mine, which was right here. And now we're going up here. This is where the golden claw is. So we've got to come up to this type of area. So I'm going to go ahead and... Actually, let me show you how to get up there. There is a path, if you come around where we did, to right here. If you follow this way up, you will work your way around the mountain to the entrance. It beats going the long way, which is going through the southern passage, which is over here somewhere, and you go through this and then have to circle all the way around, up, and then through. So it's easier just to cut up through right here. So I'm going to go ahead and get us there real quick, and we'll pick it back up when I get there. Alright, so we are coming up on the entrance to the place to where we need to go to search for the golden claw. Now there are a few bad guys out here, but they are really hard to see because, as you can tell, a snowstorm has just rolled in. Bleak Falls Barrow. That's where we want to be. Now, with these storms, rainstorms, snowstorms, that sort of thing, later on, as you gain shouts and your shouts get more powerful, you're actually able to clear the weather up. We can't do any of that right now because we haven't learned any shouts yet. And we won't until we kill our first dragon. So there is a guy over here. Two down. There's one more hiding up there somewhere. At least I can see him on the... Here he comes. Once we get up in here, we're going to check our inventory and see if we've gotten any gear upgrades. I know we have some upgrades for our companion because he doesn't have anything at the moment. So he's definitely going to have some that he can wear. For Fendal, I believe we are clear. Yes, we are. Alright, so let's take a look at what we got here. Alright, there we go. We've looked at our equipment. Got us some upgrades, which you can... Oh, you can see there. Fendal has also got some upgrades. So, let's switch to our bow and move on in here after the golden claw. To get your companion to wear gear, there's really two ways that you can do it. Essentially, you just give it to them. You opened up the dialogue, say you want to trade some things, and you just give it to them. They'll wear what they want to, again, based on some behind-the-scenes counter that, I don't know, decides what's better for them. But they'll put on whatever they want. Or you can give them stuff and then take away everything that you don't want them to wear, and then kind of force their hand to have what you want. So if there's like some type of weapon that you want them to use, or some type of look that you want them to have that they just aren't cooperating, you can take all of the stuff away except those items, and they should put them on. Now, the only thing that I have noticed is some of them, depending on how they're aligned with other factions, they won't wear opposing faction items for whatever reason. So if they won't put it on for whatever reason, it's probably because they don't agree with it for whatever reason. So just, scrap it, forget it. Alright, we have leveled up again, so let's check out. Let's give us a little bit of stamina this time. Can we do more archery? We can. Now, usually through the dungeons, I usually go, like this, sneaking. You can see if I stand up, I get a normal crosshair. If I sneak, I get these little lines that'll open up into an eye if people can see me or hear me. The reason I do it, whether I can see around the corner or not, is so that way if there is something around the corner, I will still increase the sneak skill without running the risk of them actually seeing me. Sometimes if you run up in these little dead-end nooks and crannies, sometimes there's boxes or potions or money bags or various different things will be up in there sometimes. You can pick these linen wraps up if you want to. Sometimes I do, sometimes I don't. I believe there is a quest in, I can't remember where, but there's somewhere where you can like make scrolls. I don't really worry too much about it. I just sell scrolls anyway. Really? How did that miss? You can also change what types of arrows you're using. Same way, just go to your inventory, your weapons. Fine, like right now I'm using these iron ones. You can see they're 8 damage. Where's some other ones at here? I think I have steel ones as well. Yeah, see, steel ones are 10 damage. I don't use these yet because I only have 4 of them. So as time progresses, we will get oodles and oodles of arrows, and then we can get a little bit more picky and choosy as far as what we're using and when. But right now it doesn't really matter so much. Alright, this is our first puzzle room. You can see here, if you walk up to these pillars, you have these little notches and a picture. If you hit E on them, they'll turn, and you just pick some combination. Now, if you don't pay attention to what you're doing and you just guess, and you come over here to hit the lever, oh, look at that. Poison arrows shooting everywhere. They can kill you in some cases. So what in this particular room is probably one of the easiest ones in the game, because it is the first one we come to, really. But you basically look for clues around the room. We got one here, there's one of a snake, and there were a couple up here. Here's the whale, and another snake. So if we step back and we take a look at it, we can see that this one probably fell from there, where the walls broke. So we would assume that the puzzle should be snake, snake, whale. So what we're going to do is we're going to change these. Snake. Snake. Whale. Then we'll give it a shot. And it opens right up for us. All right. See if we got anything here. Oh. Pickpocket increase. That's cool. Pickpocket I really don't care too much, to be honest. What was that? Oh, rat. Kill the rat. Anyway, before we were interrupted, pickpocket I really don't worry too much about. It does come in handy later on, especially when you start doing the Thieves Guild quests. Then yeah, anything sneaky wise, pickpocketing, lockpicking, all of that stuff comes in handy with those guys. So we will pick some up, but I'm not too worried about it right now. Okay, lots of spider webs. That's never a good sign, is it? Especially for spider lovers. It's always spiders. My mom told me one time, yeah, mother's a gamer too, how about that? But anyway, she had told me one time, she doesn't understand why they always put spiders in these types of games, because she just doesn't like them. But I mean, nobody likes them, so, well, I mean, I guess some crazy freaky people might like them, but I don't mind them. Yeah, there was a secret chest behind there. You just damage the things, and there it comes. Same thing here. Except I know that there's something in here. I can see spider webs. I can see... Oh! There it is. The wounded frostbite spider. Get him, Fendal. Get him. Some of these urns you can search. Some of them you can't. Just kind of depends. Same thing with these. Some of these you can loot. Some of them don't have anything in them. But what we are here for is this guy. He's stuck. Arvel the Swift. What? It's true. So let's cut Arvel down. I did shoot him there. I don't know if we could kill him. I really don't know. He usually moves too quick. By the time you get around these corners, he's gone. Ran off with our claw, assuming that he actually had it. Embalming tools, yeah, we don't need those. I think they just make decorations around your house, but I'm pretty sure all of the houses come fully equipped with your own embalming tools. Not that you ever get to use them. It's probably a good thing. Alright, moving up in here. This is where we get a chance to really work on our sneak and our archery. Now, there's these things, there's these mummies down in here. I think they call them Draugrs. I don't know if I'm saying that right or not. Draugrs. But you just kind of gotta peek around. I can see one right here. Now, if we just make a bunch of noise and walk up in there, he's going to get up and he's going to come looking for us. So basically what I do is I find them while they're still sleeping and just shoot an arrow into them. We're not quite strong enough yet to one-shot them, but... Did I get him? Yes, it did. So there's those kind, and then there's these. These ones are dead. I mean, they're all dead, obviously, but those ones you can just loot. Oh, there's one right there. Our eyeball, or our thing in our cursor, is not closed, so that tells us, there he goes, that there was still another one. See, and this is what I'd like. I could shoot an arrow down there. And he's going to go looking for it, and we just owned him by their own booby trap. How about that? But we loot all these things, get their golds and their ancient armors and swords. Here's the booby trap, by the way. Oh, we did grab the golden claw, good. Fendal is going to get me killed on this, or try to at least, so I like to set it off first and run around it before he comes through. Companions always seem to hurt themselves on those. Ooh. See, and then we're going to shoot an arrow over there. Oh, he saw us, oh well. Now that he's here, let's change our weapon out. And work on something else while we can. Looks like we got a spell in there. Look like oak flesh, perhaps? Let's electrocute this guy. Oh, he's waking them all up. Get him, Fendel. Let's go to our mace. And we don't want that torch, we want our shield. There we go. Oh, come on. He's so goofy looking. Alright, going back to sneaky mode, we'll get our arrows, get our bow back out, check some things. Let's look up here. Oh, there's a treasure box up here. See? Sometimes it's worthwhile to explore a little bit. Oh, there it was. Sweet spot. Perfect. Got a soul gem. We're going to get these soul gems going. Hopefully, we're going to get, when we get back, we're going to have some things to disenchant so we can learn some enchanting, I don't know, I guess recipes would be a good word to use to put on our weapons and armor. These here, pretty little lights. Sometimes you got to be careful because NPCs and you can accidentally hit those. Those do come particularly in handy when there's oil underneath them, and then you can burn up anything in a hallway. We'll probably see that. I don't know if we'll see that here, but we will definitely see it at some point. That arrow didn't make it through the cobwebs. Yeah, see, here's some oil right here. So if we make a bunch of noise, we get them investigating, then we shoot this, it should go in there and just melt their face. We did not get all of them, however. He is on fire, though. There we go. There's still another one in there. Oh, he is alerting enemies that he has found us. But he was not quick enough. Me and Fendal are just too nasty for that. Alright, coming up through here. Nothing exciting in here. Uh-oh. Alright. See what we got. We got him. Perfect. It's a treasure box. Nothing too exciting. And I just love the artwork in this game. The details, the lighting, the shadowing. It's just, I don't know. I can't say enough good things about it. Sure, it's Skyrim and it's Bethesda and it's got bugs, but I mean, to be fair, it is a big game. And I don't know, just things can be buggy, and that's alright. It's still a great game. I've played other games that were flawless and have no bugs and didn't even enjoy them. Not even a little bit to keep going. Play them for 5 or 10 minutes and take them right on back to the store or something. I don't know. I just don't. I like a beautiful game. This is a beautiful game. Are we doing anything with that? Yeah, there we go. Sometimes those will bug out and you'll just hit them for what seems like forever and they won't actually give you any ore. You'll just like be stuck on the node. The way to combat that is to, I think you would hit escape and you'll back away from it, adjust your positioning a little bit and just smack it again. It just means that for whatever reason, however you were standing on it, it wasn't registering that you were actually hitting anything, even though the noises are clearly there. Oh, missed. Here he comes. Oh, we missed again. Yeah, see, that one hit the cliff here. That one didn't. There. Should not have taken 4 or 5 arrows to kill that guy, but, you know, you'll have that sometimes. These little glowy things are in a lot of recipes for alchemy. Just checking to see if there's anybody else. That's the way we want to go, but it's always good to explore, just in case. There's a dead rat, a dead skeleton, and a treasure box. See? It's always good. We are close to a level up. Oh, never mind. We have leveled up. Let's take a look what we got going on here. We will want more health. Magicka we will train in, but not yet. Sneak and archery are what we're primarily worried about right now. Magicka will get a little bit in because as we get to the Mages College, we're going to need some to get into it because we have to cast spells to get through. I mean, I'll call it their security, I suppose. It's not really security, it's just kind of, you have to be a magic user to get into the Magic College, so you have to use magic to open gates and doors and things. So we will need we will need some. Just not yet. Oh, there is a Draugr. He's coming right at us, so let's take him out. Oh, he's a higher level one. The restless ones are harder. Get him better. Let's stun him. There we go. See, heavy armor goes up. Things that we need will go up. And I did mention last time, and I thought about it after I was done, recording and uploading. As an archer, you would think that we would want to be in light armor, so that way we could be more agile. Fair enough. Same thing with being sneaky. You would think that with being sneaky or wanting to be sneaky, we would want light armor. That way it doesn't make a bunch of noise. Because there are perks later on for the heavy armor that, do just that make it so it doesn't sound so clunky. And you can actually physically tell the difference or hear the difference if you put on different armors and walk around in stealth mode or in just standard walking around. They actually do sound different. The reason that I go with the heavy armor is on the off chance that I do get blindsided, which I will. I mean, ordinarily I know where they're coming from. I can see them. I can hear them coming. But I mean, occasionally I'm going to get walloped from behind. And if I have light armor, especially later on in the game, that could easily mean an instant death. And if I haven't saved the game midway through a dungeon, well, that can be bad, because I can get instantly killed and have to start the whole dungeon over, which I don't want to do. So, I go with heavy armor, and that's why I go real heavy and sneak, is that way, as I progress, it will offset a little bit, until I can get up into those higher tiers of it that actually allow my armor to not make very much noise. We just walk right on through there. Alright, so oh, here they come. They must have heard us. Is there yeah, there it is. That poor guy can't get through there unless you turn him off. We want all of these guys to come down here. See if that gets them. It does. Good shot. There we go. These little cups, those are what typically hold the soul gems. We will need a lot, and I mean a lot, of soul gems. Soul gems are essentially what power up your weapons. If you put frost on it or fire damage or whatever, they are what hold that magic to the weapon or bind the magic to the weapon. So we got to make sure to have plenty of them. And when they go empty, that is why we need the soul tap or the soul trap. I can't never remember. We'll find out once I find a weapon that has it on it. But that's why we need that, is because as we kill enemies, we can bind that spell to our arrows, for example, or our bow. And any enemy that we kill will, its soul will be captured. Alright, so we are reaching the end of this here. Some of these doors are buggy and they freeze your game. So before I attempt using them, I always like to save. Because I don't want to take a chance at the door freezing my game or breaking it and then I can't get into it. It doesn't happen very often. I've only had it happen once or twice, and the reason it happened is because I used the wrong kind of claw to get in. But do you know what kind of claw we need for this? By looking at it, can you tell? I mean, we know it's the golden one because it's the only one we have in this first dungeon. But as we get on, some of the dungeons have multiple puzzles to figure out where you have to use different kinds of claws. And the only way to know which one it is to try it. And then whatever one it wants, it'll use. But see, it didn't do anything. So Here's what we got to do. We're going to go into our inventory. We're going to find the claw, which will be under miscellaneous. It is the golden claw. So alphabetically, there it is. If we go over here to it, we can push up or roll up on the mouse wheel, and we can take a look at an item. Any item will do this. But on this one, the puzzle is on the bottom of it. So what we have, it looks like bear. What is that, a moth maybe? Dragonfly, moth, something like that. And then an owl. Okay. So if we hit tab to get out of there, we just basically activate these rings. What do we have? We had bear. And then we need a moth there and an owl here. You can make them all go at the same time. There we go. Bear, moth, owl. Then we'll try to activate. Oh, that looks good. The dust flies and the door opens. He's so creepy. We will definitely need to replace him with a chick at some point, but he's good for now. Moving up into here. Let's see what we got here. Bats. Empty caskets. More bats. Would you now? Look at that. It's beautiful. These here are our dragon walls. I'll go into details about them here in a moment. I just kind of want to look around real quick. See if I can find any plants that we can pick, or iron ore or anything. Doesn't look like it. Alright, see this funky stuff coming at me? This is how we learn our dragon words. You basically approach it, and now we've learned word of power, force, unrelenting force. Oh look, and we've completed find the secret of the burrow. Great. Let's see if we've learned. There, that was our first shout, unrelenting force. We can't use it yet because we don't have any dragon souls, but we did learn one. That's the one, I believe, that helps us later on clear up the weather the stronger it gets. Oh, Draugr Overlord. I bet he's nasty. Here he comes. Oh! There was some unrelenting force. Stun him a little bit. Oh man, he hits so hard. Dragonstone. Take all that. Here's one of the soul gems in the cups I was telling you about. Like I said, don't ever pass one of those up if you don't have to. Take them, take them, take them. Got a staff. Got a little laggy there for a second in this big open place. I hope that's not a common occurrence, because this one's not even that big compared to some of the ones we'll be getting into. Ah, see? Look, treasure box hidden back here behind everything. Was hidden by the waterfall. We were about to leave without it. What did we get? Another soul gem. That's awesome. Block picking skill went up too. That's good. That's why it's always good to explore. Never turn your back on an unexplored corridor. You never know what you're going to find. If we tap our Alt button, we can activate our sprint here to run out real quick. Not sure where Fendal went. Hopefully he's not stuck somewhere. Followers do tend to do that sometimes. We will take the purple mountain flowers. Alright, back out. Ooh, what's that? Enchanter's Potion. Alright, we've made it through there. That was our first dungeon. Fendal is missing. I'm assuming he got stuck in there somewhere, so we might have to go find him. But before we do that... Oh, there he is down there. I think that's him. Yep, that's him. Alright, so we've made it through our first mine. Got to see a little bit of combat in there. We've made it through our first dungeon. We did retrieve the golden claw. So what we'll do before we wrap this up is we will run back. I'm going to just do a fast travel. Hit your map. We're way over here. We need to be here. Click on the town, Riverwood. Yes, we would fast travel. Now, as you can imagine, you can only do that to areas that you've already discovered. You also cannot do it while in combat, you know, various little things like that. The one thing that I did learn that is helpful is when we do get a horse, if you can't find him, because they will get lost a lot once you jump off of them and do some exploring. Once you do that, if you fast travel somewhere, even if it's to the same location that you're actually at, your horse will he'll pop in and just be like, hey, look at me. Alright, so see here, there's the arrow over his head. That's because we need to talk to him. We have the claw. As I was saying earlier about having all the quests open, that's the arrow that I was telling you sometimes won't be there if you've got too many quests open. And sometimes in big areas with lots of people, you kind of walk around like, what am I supposed to do, or who am I supposed to talk to? This quest was fairly clear-cut, but they're not always. Alright. So with that being said, we've got the Golden Claw in. We've completed our first quest. Great. I'm going to go ahead and end it here. We will pick it back up again next time, and we will go see what other kind of trouble we can get into, because we are going to be off to Whiterun. Thanks for watching, guys. See you next time.